Now, the rest of the story.
Okay, so, needle nose. Honk honk. I had to baby the disc bind coming home from one of the farther farms tonight. Luckily I waited until I was done cutting to notice this, but we got a little bit of an air gap there that shouldn't be there, and luckily parts are already on the way. But I was looking at this spring, wondering if we shouldn't address it, and I should have listened to my gut and looked at it. My biggest concern is the spindle and the hub, hoping that they're not destroyed. So let's take it off and see what it looks like. I'm going to give you guys an update on this hub and what's going on with the mower. I was hoping it wouldn't come down to this, but it's going to be all new parts across the board. The bearings, of course, the races, the bearings are completely gone. There's nothing left on them. The races, they were starting to get chewed up. That's damage from getting knocked out. And I was hoping I could have reused this. I probably could. I mean, I've done some sketchy things, but it's scored up so much on the inside, I mean all the way through it on both sides, and I don't know how long we're going to have this mower. Could be 1 year, could be 5 years, could be 10 years. So skimping on something like this doesn't make sense to me. The other reason is basically just from my logic, my reasoning is we're cutting our farms when we're mowing are spread out over several miles. Just yesterday we went from the furthest farm I went to the other farm that I went. I covered probably 7 or 8 miles just between the two. And later in the year, like in September, I tend to do more cutting later in the day, late at night. Not because I really try to, it's just because when you get to the final cutting of the year, we're usually running around trying to cut everything at once, and having a wheel bearing go out and potentially strand me someplace is a concern. This failed, I noticed it failed, when I was about a quarter of the way home from a farm that was about I'd say 5.5, 6 miles away, and I babied it home, but the damage is done, and I'm gonna go through. Luckily enough, it's just a single bolt that holds this guy in. Drop this whole piece out, which I say that so casually, but this piece is going to be replaced, the hub, then a whole new set of bearings for this side, and then I am going through and I will be replacing the bearings, the races on the other tire, because that tire's gone over just as many miles, and it's just the fact that this one failed first. So you can see the very evident damage of it rubbing. The tire honestly could look a lot worse than what it does. I'm going to reuse it, of course, but I know that for how bad it was wobbling, it really isn't all that bad. But this guy right here, you can see where it chewed into it. Oh, maybe you guys can see it right here. Oh, if the camera it wants to zoom in or not. And I can't put a bearing on that. It's clear back around the back here. This is all chewed up, and I just can't. I can't put a bearing back on there and be confident that it's gonna sit properly, and that just is gonna result in a premature fail on a new set of bearings, and then who knows where I'm at when this one fails, unless the threads are pretty messed up there. So new parts are coming. I just wanted to give you guys an update on where this thing currently sits. I can do a video on redoing all that. It's just, if I go through and I'll take the air hammer and ideally just knock that out of there. And I can do a video on putting the bearings back on and remounting it. But the way things are looking right now, I don't know when the parts are going to be here, hopefully this week. But oops. Downside to filming with your camera, I shut the phone off. The parts are going to be here this week. I've ordered them all. $500 and some change for the hub, that shaft, both bearings, everything I need to redo both sides. I don't really think that's all that bad. I thought it'd be closer to $1,000. But the thing is, we were able to get the majority of the hay cut that we wanted cut. I ended up going and cutting one set of waterways today, which in my previous video, which I don't know what video it was, when I was cutting out at Ryan's, I said that the pastures and waterways, it would easily take a day just for me to go and cut them all. And using the 46 and the other mower, it took me 2 hours to cut just the one field of waterways. It was worth it. I mean, it's still considered first cut. I don't know if I'll end up making another cutting off of it. I mean, it's the end of July. I could let the regrowth come back and it might amount to something, but whether or not I decide to go through in September and cut it again is yet to be seen. But hopefully the stuff that we cut yesterday will be able to dry tomorrow, and then hopefully we can make it Thursday, because they're calling for rain Friday night. And the waterway stuff that I cut earlier, I didn't film any of it. That stuff is cow feed, so I'm actually getting kind of low on the feed for my cows. I'm about to let them out in the pasture for a little bit, but then this stuff, it isn't going to qualify. It never was going to qualify for going down the road anyway. Granted, I still need feed for my cows, and I have plenty of feed right now, don't get me wrong. I have over 400 bales, but that's all road quality, as in it's meant to go down the road. So this stuff, at least we can get it baled. If it gets rained on after I'm bale it, of course, it isn't the end of the world if I can't get it hauled in right away, because they're calling for 3 days of rain: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe Monday morning. So we're good on the moisture side of life. Everything's starting to tassel and everything's looking really nice. It's just we were saying how it's been a while since we've had to buy any parts, and well, you can't run equipment without having expenses. But I can try to show you some of rebuilding that, fixing that up. It's just that we got to bale and haul hay in yet, so that'll probably all be done before the parts get here. Oh well. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It really does support the channel. I'll talk to you guys later.